my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. Today is May the 7th, or as some people in the fandom like to call it, the Phantom 7th, and we have some amazing news for the Kenobi series, Andor, and we're also going to be speaking about the Book of Boba Fett. So without much further ado, and without any more jibber jabber, let's get straight into the news. We begin with some character information for Obi-Wan Kenobi, because the names of Indira Varma's character as well as the big blue droid have been revealed, and this information comes to us in a pretty unconventional way through LEGO set leaks. Let's get into all of it. So it all began when promobricks.de revealed details for upcoming LEGO sets for Obi-Wan Kenobi and Star Wars Andor. And one of the most important pieces of new information from the descriptions on the site are the names of Indira Varma's Imperial officer as well as the new droid. Well, according to that description, Indira Varma's character is going to be called Durith. Now, if you remember guys, it was previously speculated the character was going to be called Tia, and that was from an unconfirmed IMDb listing, and it's now believed that Tia was the character's codename, not her real name. And this is a trait commonly used by Lucasfilm on their Star Wars projects. But her official name is going to be Officer Durith, and speaking of her, making Star Wars have revealed some information about what the character is going to be like, her motivations, and also a couple of plot points, so I want to share that with you briefly before we speak about this droid. So they say that while they don't know too much about the significance that she holds to the Empire, they do say that much like Finn in The Force Awakens, her moral compass does not allow her to do some of the things that the Empire wants. They say that while she was an officer of some repute, they've been told that she will defect in the show and is going to be relocated by the partisans to safety after the Empire asks her to do something that she cannot morally do. But that mysterious something is not known right now, but we're gonna find out when the show drops in just 20 days time. They also note that they believe that Varma's character is going to have a profound effect on Kenobi, and this is going to play into his victory, and of course, seeing her defect is going to add to his glimmer of hope. He's seen the work from the partisans and also the first crumbs of rebellion, and that for Kenobi is going to be huge. So going back to the character name reveals, we also know the name of this droid. His name is going to be Ned B, Ned-B. Currently, very little is known about the droid's role, but it's speculated he's working with the partisans also. Both him and Tala, which is Indira Varma's character, are set to feature in this LEGO set dubbed Obi-Wan vs Darth Vader. The set itself is mostly made up of grey bricks with some yellow slopes, but it also includes a yellow life truck that transports lava and brown structure, which may be a melting furnace. And this location is believed to be the moon of Nur, or a different Mustafar moon that was originally rumoured to be in this series. It's basically going to be Mustafar 2.0 because the aesthetic is going to be very similar to what we see at the end of episode 3 on Mustafar itself. So those are the character reveals for Kenobi, but in this report there was also a LEGO set leak for the Andor show, and that set supposedly includes a grey spaceship with upturned wings and a sand-colour speeder bike, and that set comes with 3 minifigures, although all of them are unnamed, a man in a beige coat with blonde hair and a receding hairline, and this is believed to be Stellan Skarsgård's character. Then we have a character completely dressed in blue with a blue hat, and then what's believed to be Cassian Andor himself. Nothing revealing in this Andor set that tells us anything about the show. We still don't know who Stellan Skarsgård is playing, and this fellow completely dressed in blue with a blue hat is anyone's guess. So now my dear friends, before we move on from Obi-Wan Kenobi completely, we do have some very interesting musical news, notably that Natalie Holt confirmed she has written a Stormtrooper theme for the series. Now, just before we dive into the article, I want to address something that I've seen a few people mention. There seems to be this consensus that the music in the teaser, the original trailer that we got, was more epic and cinematic than the final trailer we got the other day on Star Wars Day. Some folks are saying this because it included a new, more epic version of Duel of the Fates, and also a rendition of Battle of the Heroes, but I think a lot of people are failing to realise that the music in the final trailer is much more akin to the feel of the show itself. As Natalie said in her famous interview a couple of weeks ago, it's going to be a combination of the new and the old. It will contain the orchestral vibes you would expect for a Star Wars project dealing with Obi-Wan, but she's been very open about the fact there are also going to be some other genres introduced too, notably synthwave and lo-fi, which we do hear a little bit of when the trailer begins, and the fact that she's worked with John Williams and the two collaborated for the music on the show means that there was always going to be this sort of duality to the nature of the score, which in my opinion is a great thing, a very welcome evolution of the sound of Star Wars, at least in this project. It's going to be a very different sound to the space western scores that we got from Ludwig in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. but I'm all for it. But going back to this article, Natalie has done something that was never done before. She's created a unique Stormtrooper theme. We all know the Imperial March and the Emperor's theme by John Williams, but this show is going to include another Imperial-based theme, this time focusing on Stormtroopers. She also confirmed that she's composed themes for characters and individual planets too. All I can think of is I really hope we're going to Alderaan, because John Williams did a beautiful job of combining Leia's theme with a new theme he called A New Hope at the end of Revenge of the Sith. So if Natalie is saying that she wrote themes for individual planets and we are going to Alderaan, I'm so curious to hear what she's done with that. In her own words, she said, obviously John has written the Obi theme, but I did start off trying to write one, to be honest. I was writing from Deborah's instructions and it was interesting. She was like, he's in the desert, he's lost, he's been alone. It's like anything for his theme would just be small, crumbling, fragmented and thin. Then it would grow as he goes on this journey. That was kind of interesting, seeing the place that I arrived at just for the world and his environment. Obviously, there are lots of different characters in this show, and I did also write musical themes for planets. In addition, there is a Stormtroopers theme. That's all I can say right now. Super exciting stuff. And I think the logical question that comes from this, even though she can't reveal too many details, is how much does this new theme draw upon John Williams' already existing Imperial March? You would assume they might be a bit connected, and speaking of which, I'm sure John Williams has cooked up a new version of the Imperial March for Darth Vader. The score itself, the gorgeous music, is one of the things I'm looking most forward to, the heart and soul of Star Wars. And so now, my dear friends, a really exciting update for Star Wars Celebration. Temuera Morrison is confirmed to be attending, and he will be signing autographs. It's also expected that he's going to be part of the Mando Plus panel, along with Ming-Na Wen, and that's going to be where Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and some other creatives like Bryce Dallas Howard are going to give us insight into what's to come for The Mandalorian and its spin-offs. We're probably going to get some Ahsoka updates, maybe a teaser or some sort of title card for The Mandalorian Season 3, but we also have our eyes on a potential Book of Boba Fett Season 2 announcement. I recently finished watching the Disney Gallery for Season 1 of the show, and it provides so much insight into how they brought the show to life. And on top of that, some of the creative decisions that were sort of controversial, notably the structure of the show and why it was so important to bring The Mandalorian back. And I'm all for Season 2. I was before watching this gallery, but now I hold the belief stronger than ever. We need a Book of Boba Fett Season 2. Boba's character deserves it. I'm probably going to make a video at some stage outlining what I think should happen in that season. But the first season showed us just how much potential there is there. And the execution, if they do come back for a second season, I think is going to be perfect. And so finally, my dear friends, a bit of Funko Pop news. Who doesn't like a bit of Funko? You guys know I'm something of a collector of these, and this new one that was just announced is gorgeous. It's Padme in her iconic Episode 3 Senate gown in the scene where Supreme Chancellor Palpatine establishes the Galactic Empire. And Padme utters the famous line, "So this is how liberty dies," with thunderous applause. I can't wait to get my hands on this. I'm not sponsored by Funko, but you know what? Funko, if you're watching this, why not sponsor my videos? But in all seriousness, my dear friends, I hope you're all having an amazing day. That brings us to the end of this Star Wars news update. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up. Why not subscribe to the channel? And if you're feeling generous and you want more content not found here on YouTube, then click the link down there in the description. But until tomorrow, my dear friends, may the Force be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg. Have a good one.